Okay.
So
Do we want to give it another minute or two?
Yes, but we're live somewhere.
Okay. Hello, live. Hello, Facebook Live. CBJ website live. Wherever you are watching from live.
Hi, Jonathan.
The nice thing, we are always live until we are not.
Hi, John. I unmuted you so you can say hi.
Hi, hello. Nice to see you all. Susan and I are Hebrew class together, so we're moving on to
Yeah.
Levi Omar.
So nice to have you join me again.
Thank you.
Streaming service, okay.
Okay.
Andrew, where are you?
I am in some night scene that I found on the internet. It is not my own photograph.
I'm not quite sure where you are.
No, I don't know.
Okay.
All right.
But I built a fire right in front of me.
Ah,
I see that.
That fire.
Is that part of your phone or something?
Oh no.
Hey.
Oh, it's an actual
Fire.
fire. Oh, there's
just
Nadine.
don't get too close.
Hi, Nadine.
Hi, Nadine.
Hi, Nadine.
No,
Hi, Nadine.
hi, David.
Okay.
Hi,
Well-
Susan.
Hi,
Susan.
Nadine.
Susan, where are you? We were in Rome a little while ago.
We're in Rome just an hour ago. Now I'm in Israel. This is
Oh,
one of the caves that's in Israel, and it's really cool because the entrance looks like you're going through two eyeballs.
Okay.
Hi, Rainey.
But it's
Hi.
also the
Okay.
caves, as I talk about Lag BaOmer tonight, you'll understand the caves. So I picked them
Okay.
for tonight's program.
Okay.
Nadine, you weren't there earlier when I thanked Dan and you for my birthday card, so thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Could you send me the link for Thursday, the Bible thing? I don't have it.
Okay, yes, I can, and you should have received it yesterday in the adult learning email, and it also went in today's CEEBJ
Okay.
email. I will, however,
different
All
also
right,
from
send
I
it
the
to
will
you.
last
look.
time? Is
Yes,
it different from
it's
last
different
time?
every single week. Yes, it's different every single week to
Yeah.
keep the safety of our sites.
Can you send that to me too, please?
Okay,
Would that be easy for,
yes, I can, Bella.
could you?
Yes, I can.
Thank you.
The question is, will I remember? If I forget, just send me a note. I hope not to forget,
Okay.
though.
Hi, Andrea.
Okay.
Hi, Andrea.
Andrea,
Hi,
good
Belen.
to see you.
How you doing?
Hi, Andrea.
So the nicest thing about this evening is Lag BaOmer is a night to be around a bonfire or a campfire. And it's really a night to socialize and to sing and to tell stories and to schmooze. And so while this is somewhat a ritual event and a worship event because it is a holiday, it is also very much one of the reasons why we wanted to do this tonight was for socialization. So that I think it is great that we have been schmoozing with each other already. And part of what we will do all night is schmooze. So there will definitely be times for that. Right now, though, if you can see, I've sort of
We have
mellowed
a
out because
bonfire.
since I love starting, we do?
Yeah, look over there. The lemon.
Family.
They have a bonfire, excellent.
And they
Yes, they do.
Yay.
cooking their marshmallows.
Spotlight 'em.
Excellent. That is wonderful because I actually had a virtual one ready for us.
Ah, okay.
Okay, So
Look at the 11s. That's amazing. Hey, guys,
that's
can you hear us?
wonderful. Can they hear us?
Maybe.
Can you hear us?
Can you hear us?
Ben, can you hear us?
Yes,
Excellent. Great.
Awesome. You
We
guys are
love
actually
your-
having one.
we love your bonfire.
well, we have a bond smoke.
Okay, bond smoke is a good start.
Yeah, but we're working on it.
Excellent, excellent. So do you mind if I start talking about the holiday as you do that? Hi.
Judy.
Yes, please.
Okay. So, welcome to Lag BaOmer. We have about another hour or two of Lag BaOmer left. While we're counting the Omer, we count from, it has to be dark when we count each night of the Omer. And Lag BaOmer literally means log is 33. So today is the 33rd day
Lamed
of counting
Gimel.
of counting with Lamed Gimel.
Omar.
Okay, Lamed being 30, Gimel being
Right.
3. And it's the
Three.
33rd day of the counting of the Omer, which is, and then when you talk about counting the Omer, you always say it is the 33rd day of counting. That is 4 weeks and 5 days of the Omer. Did I get that right, Cantor?
You certainly did.
Okay, good. Glad that my mouth is still good as I used to be a math teacher. Okay. So in Jewish tradition, we count 49 days between this. Yes.
I just wanted, for people who are wondering how Lamed is 30, does everyone know how Lamed is 30?
No.
No.
So we'll just do a quick refresher so you know how
Please.
Lamed is 30, because it's Lamed and Gimel. Gimel, when it's called gematria.
Right.
So an Aleph equals 1, and a Bet equals 2, and Gimel equals 3, right? So you go Aleph, Bet, Gimel, Dalet, Hey, going up Vav, Zayin, Chet,
Right.
Tet, Yud. So Yud is 10, and then you go by tens. So Yud, Kaf, then is going to be 20, and Lamed is going to be 30. So that's as you're going through the alphabet,
Right.
you assign numbers to the letters. So Aleph, Bet, Gimel, all the way to 10 is Yud, Kaf, Lamed. Lamed is 30, and Gimel is 3. Lamed and Gimel, you can put them into kind of a word form, and then you spell lag. So that's why you get Lag BaOmer. You kind of put a vowel on
Okay.
it, and all of a sudden, okay, thanks.
It's a holiday.
Voila.
Voila. Abracadabra.
Then it becomes a holiday.
That's right.
So in Jewish tradition, we count 49 days from the second night of Passover until the beginning of Shavuot. And it's called Sfirat HaOmer, the counting of the Omer. The Omer was actually a sheaf of wheat, and you were gathering the wheat. Each day there'd be bringing it in, so that 49 days, and on the 50th day would be Shavuot. Now, I will share with you a personal story about counting of the Omer, and that is the following. My daughter was born on Shavuot. So every year when we count the Omer, I get to count until her Hebrew birthday. So for me, it's doubly special. Not only are we receiving the Torah, and that being the greatest gift given to the Jews, I also on that holiday received my daughter, which was very exciting. Or
Mazel
birth of
tov.
my daughter. So thank you. So it's a special holiday, I think, and the counting is always exciting because of it. Well, the entire period of the entire counting of the Omer is usually a time of refrain, is usually a time that often is viewed as not a happy, joyous time. And a lot of things have traditionally been said to have happened during this time. And it was when, we'll go into some of the stories of some of the hidings and various things that happened. But Lag BaOmer is a happy holiday. So in the middle of everything, you get this one day of really cool things. So it is a day when lots of people get married. It is a day where in Israel and throughout the world, traditional Jews often will give haircuts. So for any of you who have gone through our quarantine so far without a haircut, today would be an auspicious day to give yourself a haircut or to get a haircut in your own home,
Where do I go to that one?
if you can pull that one off. Well, that's a question, right? You'd have to do it to yourself, which I don't trust myself doing. I'm waiting many, many months, I think, until one can again. Although some places I think are starting to do things, if I read correctly. And it was a night of bonfires, and it was a night of celebration, and some people do parades on this day. And it would be especially last night was a night of sitting around bonfires and singing and doing what's called a kumsitz, a gathering together and singing all night till very late at night. So this year, because of the weather, and this year because of the quarantine in Israel, they are not doing bonfires, but lots of people are coming up with various ways to be creative about it. I've seen people make tents inside their homes today. I've seen people, someone actually took, they had a gas stove and they put Lego humans around the gas stove to make it look like a campfire. So people have done a lot of different things for it. So lots of creativity is happening this year. So it was a holiday of great joy. And here are some of the reasons that they said it was a holiday of great joy. One, there had been a plague. I know no one can relate to that concept, but there had been a plague that took the lives of thousands of students of the great teacher, Rabbi Akiva. And a little bit later, I'm going to tell you some stories about Rabbi Akiva. And supposedly on Lag BaOmer, this plague ended. Now, unfortunately, that's not probably going to happen for us this year, but the plague ended on Lag BaOmer, so that was certainly a reason for rejoicing. Other sources say that Lag BaOmer celebrates a victory for the armies of the Jewish leader Bar Kokhba. Some associate Lag BaOmer with the stories of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, who was a student of Rabbi Akiva and a writer of important Jewish texts, and he was the one who was known for being in the caves, as were many of the other students of Rabbi Akiva as well. So we have a lot of caves, and that's why the cave deal. So we've talked about those things. So now, it's also because of Rabbi Akiva and Rabbi Shimon and their students who fooled the Romans by pretending, because we weren't allowed to be studying at this time, sort of like how we got the dreidel to pretend that we weren't studying. In that point in time, they were pretending that they were hunting. So it is a holiday that also has a lot of archery involved and relay races. So lots of cool things like that. So before I tell any stories, their fire is starting. I see real flames coming out of it. It's not just smoke anymore. Very exciting.
Yeah,
I was hoping maybe, Cantor, that you could lead us in our first song.
We'll do that. But before we do that, we'll spotlight their video so you can really see the fire. I was also going to say that this holiday has a lot of significance for Deborah and for me. 12 years ago on Lag BaOmer, I proposed to Deborah. And so, because just as you had said, some people get married on Lag BaOmer, it seemed very, very fitting to propose to Deborah on Lag BaOmer. So I proposed on Lag BaOmer and we got married the following Thanksgiving. So that was 12 years ago. It's not necessarily today, but in the Jewish calendar, it is today. It's 12 years ago today on a Lag BaOmer. So I have no idea what actual day it was. I just know it was Lag BaOmer. So,
those marshmallows look
the other
so
thing is,
good.
I'm also fortunate. Yeah, the fire's coming along well. And so I'm gonna
And so are the roasted
go
marshmallows.
Mm.
I will also say while the
Now,
cantor is
I
doing that,
want-
if you have
I
marshmallows
wanna
and
show
things,
you-
feel free to roast them at any time.
So also, I was very fortunate today because I tried to, as you mentioned, some people get haircuts on Lag BaOmer. So we did a little experiment, and Deborah has another talent, and she gave me a haircut. And so I have a haircut.
Oh, nice.
So I'm
Very
very appreciative to
nice.
Deborah because my hair was
Very nice.
getting a little unmanageable, unmanageable, and so I'm very appreciative to
You did a
Deborah
good
for that.
job.
And a haircut as well. And we did it in a COVID-19 a good fashion. I didn't go to we stayed in the house, so that was good. Yeah, I think we should go back to the bonfire, and then I will try and share the first song. So let's see, go back to the Levins.
Okay, sounds
I
great.
don't know. Maybe Andrew, you can get us back to there. We go. All right. So I'm going to share. This is a setting of Kol Ha'olam Kulo, Gesher Tzar Me'od. Let's see. Yeah, there we go. So let's see if this works. And this is a beautiful rendition I found. The Whole World is a Narrow Bridge by this group Children Beyond. And I hope you enjoy this song. The world is a narrow bridge, but the main thing is not to fear.
And should we sing with him?
Listen, the kids are very cute. Maybe listen. You can mute everyone, and then people can sing.
לעולם כולו גשר צר מאוד, גשר צר מאוד, גשר צר מאוד, כל העולם כולו גשר צר מאוד, גשר צר מאוד.
So it's a beautiful song and a beautiful message.
At this time. Thank you for sharing that with us. Okay, so we up for a story?
Yep.
First
Yep.
story. There's many stories of Rabbi Akiva because he was pretty amazing. So this first story of Rabbi Akiva is really about Rabbi Akiva and his wife. and his wife Rachel. So you see, Rabbi Akiva was not one of the fortunate ones who are born to riches or into a house of a scholar. He had to get everything the hard way. He was born as a child of a very poor family and became a shepherd who could not read and he could not write. One of the many who took care of the thousands of flocks of the wealthy Kalba Sabua, about whose riches the Talmud tells many stories. The daughter of this fabulous man was beautiful and was the feminine version of a mensch. The richest, the most learned young men of that time would have considered themselves fortunate to marry her. But Rachel, Kalba Sabua's only child, the heir to all of his riches, had observed the shepherd Akiva, and some inner voice told her that that young person, that young man who couldn't read and couldn't write, had the making of a great scholar. On the condition that he would leave her father's work to go and study Torah, she married him secretly. As Rachel refused one man after another, Kalba Sabua found out about her secret marriage to his former shepherd. He was very angry, and he vowed that he would not have anything to do with her or her husband. Gladly, the only child of the richest man of those days left all the luxuries, all the comforts to which she had been used to living in, and went to live with Akiva in a shack, sleeping on a bundle of straw, and working hard with her own soft hands so that her husband could devote himself to the study of Torah. Once, when she could not find work, she even cut off her beautiful long hair to sell it so that she would have some money with which to buy a dry crust of bread for both. Yet even in their poverty, they were willing to share with others the little they possessed. Once the poor man passed the shack of Akiva and Rachel and begged, "Pray, good people, let me have a handful of straw. My wife is sick and I have nothing to bed her on." At once Akiva shared his own bundle of straw with the poor man, remarking thus to Rachel, "See, my child, there are those who fare worse than we." Well, as the good stories go in the Jewish tradition, the poor beggar, say our sages, was none other than the prophet Elijah, who had come to test Akiva's good heart, and so took care of him. We'll hear another story soon, as there are many. But can we have another song?
Sure. This was a fun one. I have 3 total, so this will
Okay.
be the second. Keep an eye on the time here. Okay.
Yeah.
So this one, it says, Hevenu Shalom Aleichem, Jerusalem Academy flash mob for birthright at Ben Gurion Airport. So I think a lot of you know the song Hevenu Shalom Aleichem. It's pretty cool. So here we go.
הבאנו שלום, הבאנו שלום, הבאנו שלום. הבאנו שלום עליכם, הבאנו שלום עליכם, הבאנו שלום עליכם, הבאנו שלום, שלום, שלום.
of cool. It was the 18th anniversary of Birthright, and they did this flash mob at the Ben Gurion Airport. Kind of cool.
So
Let's go to the
incredible.
airport.
I've seen it before and I still cry. I still cry when I see it because it's such an incredible, for most of them, it's their first trip to Israel, and for that to be their welcome. Just incredible. Just incredible. Okay, a second story of Rabbi Akiva. So, as I talked about Rabbi Akiva and his wife, she knew that nothing was beyond him, but Akiva still questioned, what if I can't learn? What if my brain is hard like a stone and can't absorb new ideas? Well, as a teacher, I often encounter students that question themselves and are easy to become discouraged and believe that a task is too big for their abilities. But this story of Akiva really helps us because one day, Akiva, as I said, he was a shepherd. Akiva was sitting out on the hillside and the sheep were around and he saw this rock, this big stone. And he noticed that rain was dripping onto the stone. And it kept dripping. And it kept dripping, drip by drip. And he noticed that each time he went out to it, there was more of an indent in the stone than before from the newest rains. And he realized, my mind is not harder than a rock. I can learn just like water cuts through stone, a little bit each day. And so Akiva began to study. First, he memorized the sounds and shape of each letter of the Hebrew alphabet. Then he put the letters together to form words. Every day, he mastered a new word until he could read and write whole sentences. Later, when Akiva went to yeshiva, he studied Torah in the same way, learning one law at a time, breaking down the dense and difficult text into individual pieces. In the end, a man who could not read or write became a wise rabbi, followed by thousands of students, by taking it drip by drip, little by little, carving it out just like the water carved the stone, and helping his students break it down bit by bit. We're ready for our next song.
One moment. I will share the screen. Let me get there, 1 second. Okay, so. All right, so this is a medley. Hava Nagila, Finjan, and another Hevenu Shalom Aleichem. So we might hear a little bit and then we'll. Here we go.
Oops.
finish the song and then we'll go to the next. Have another one in a moment.
Thank you.
Sure. Fire looks great.
And he's,
So
said at
one,
the time they were on the kibbutz and there was a lot of construction around. And so he and his buddies went.
was Audrey sharing a story? Did you want to share a story, Audrey?
I don't think, I didn't know that I was unmuted.
Ah, got it. Okay. The one more story about Rabbi Akiva, although there are like hundreds and hundreds of stories of Rabbi Akiva. There is a story that says that once upon a time, many years ago, a non-believing person in God, another term for it, a heathen, once came to Rabbi Akiva and asked him, who created the world? God created the world, Rabbi Akiva replied. And the person responded back saying, prove it to me. Well, that's a hard thing to do, but Rabbi Akiva said, come back tomorrow. So the following day, the person came back and Rabbi Akiva engaged him in conversation. What are you wearing? Rabbi Akiva asked him. A cloak, as you see. Who made it? Rabbi Akiva asked. The weaver, of course. I don't believe it. Prove it to me, Rabbi Akiva persisted. What proof do you want? Can't you see that the weaver has made the cloth? Ah, then why do you ask for proof that God created the world? Can't you see that the Holy One, blessed be God, created it? And to his disciples, Rabbi Akiva added, my children, just as the house is proof of a builder, and the cloth is proof of a weaver, and the door is proof of a joiner, so this world proclaims that God created it. So, at this time, we got one fire going on. Andrew had his own lighter. Did anyone bring marshmallows other than my family and Ben's family? I think we may be the only ones. Okay. So at this time, what I thought we'd do is I'm going to put on some music on Spotify, just some camp music, because what do you sing at a campfire but camp music? So I'm going to put on some music and you can sing and or you can just schmooze with one another. And now is our time to just enjoy each other's company, unless anyone has any questions for the cantor or myself. I can't see everyone. Let me switch over to the other view to see if anyone has questions. Anyone have questions? Okay, then I shall put on some music and we will go with share screen and share computer sound. Optimize screen share. And we will go share. And then we will go hit on Spotify. We'll go there. And then not my Log Wilmer music because that's a strange fit. But rather, we want to go to camp music. So we will go to camp.
almost heaven. West Virginia, Blue Ridge Mountain, Shenandoah River. Life is old there, older than the trees, younger than the mountains, growing like a breeze. Country roads, take me home to the place I belong. West Virginia, Mountain Mama, take me home. Country roads, all my memories together round her. Minus lady, stranger to blue water. Dark and dusty, painted on the sky. Misty taste of moonshine, teardrops in my eyes. Country roads, take me home to the place I belong. West Virginia, Mountain Mama.
Now we should be able to hear each other.
Much better.
Did people have a good Mother's Day?
Yeah, great.
Oh, good. What made it great, Nadine?
I talked on Zoom with all my kids and grandkids, my sister and Daniel. It was
Oh.
wonderful.
Wonderful.
Yeah, we had a great Zoom meeting.
Oh, that's terrific.
Family get together.
Wonderful, wonderful. Here's my fire, by the way.
All right.
How was yours, Susan?
Mine was lovely. We had tefillah for the whole school first thing in the morning. And then we had a phenomenal, Marilyn Price was our storyteller this year. And she was incredible. And people made really beautiful art pieces interpreting prayers for nature and prayers for seeing wise people. And then Andrew, Cantor, Rabbi, and I spent the next 4+ hours driving all over
High school. The most formative years of your son's
Milwaukee.
life. At Marquette University High School, our Jesuit education.
Driving all over Milwaukee to visit to drop off things for all of our 6th graders. And that was great. We drove from the temple all the way out to Tosa, all the way around, visiting Whitefish Bay and Shorewood and Mequon and Cedarburg, and it was and a couple other areas, and it was just lovely. And I got home and got to be with my mom and my son. So
Wonderful.
yes. Oh, and not Skyped. We Zoomed with my brother and his family, so they also could get time with my mom. So that was nice as well, since they are in New York, and we miss them terribly. So all was good. Okay, let's see how we're doing in music.
So did Olive go to all the different houses of the 6th graders?
Yes, we did.
Wow.
Oh, and enjoying the fireplace.
16 stops.
Yes, we visited 16 homes.
Oh.
And we drove about 69 miles.
No, wow, that was
Give or
wonderful.
take. Wow, that's nice.
It was.
A lot of people were home.
Yes.
were home. Where else would they be?
I don't know. Some people weren't home.
Oh, people weren't home. Oh.
Yes,
Some weren't.
a couple were not home, most were home. We tried to text everyone before we got there. Some didn't get our texts. One family was not home because they were dropping off flowers at both grandparents' homes.
No, round and round and round. Okay.
It's one of my favorite songs.
Yeah, I saw Joni Mitchell live.
Oh, isn't she great?
Yep. I saw her in Detroit.
Wow. I've never been to Detroit. Well, that's not true. I've been to the airport.
Back in the 60s and 70s, it was after the riots, and they built it back. It was a very nice place.
Wow.
But now it's not. Now it's not again.
That's what I hear. I had a conference where I was supposed to go to Detroit, and we were going to tour Motown and everything, and ARJ, an educator conference. And I was not allowed to travel due to my pregnancy with my son. I was on bed rest.
Some of my older brothers were born at 6 Mile and Woodward.
Wow.
And attended a high school or a school that Eddie Murphy later went to.
That's cool. There's a talent.
Yeah.
You are just as talented, very different way.
And the seasons, they go round and round, and the painted ponies go up and down. We're captive on the carousel of time. We can't return, we can only look behind from where we came and go round and round and round.
Anyone have any exciting news to share?
That's a funny question.
Those things are still happening. Babies are still being born. Books are being written.
So I have something exciting.
Yes, please.
So I'm looking at the screen here and I see Belle-Ann and Andrea and Andrew and Arthur, and all of them are involved in our next exciting project of the adult choir is going to be doing a virtual video. So 4 of the 12 screens here, all involved in singing Beyado, not Beyado, Oziva Zimratya. Oziva Zimratya. And so we just uploaded all our videos, and Scott's working on them right now. And hopefully a week from Friday, we'll premiere our next virtual choir video of all the choirs singing Oziva Zimratya. So that's an exciting project that's underway.
Fantastic. Anyone read a good book lately? Or watched a good movie?
I read Where the Crawdads Sing. That was pretty good.
I loved that book. My mother is
I
saying
did too.
I don't love it, but I loved it. I loved it. I think partly I loved it because of the nature in it.
Right.
It was, I really
I really liked that also. Our book group read it and we had a great discussion of it.
Oh, that's terrific.
Yeah. I did see a good movie. I saw John and Yoko, Above Us Only Sky. It's a documentary about the writing of the song Imagine and recording it. And it was really cool. And then I was invited to a discussion with the director of the movie. And this is how I'm related to the director. He's the brother-in-law of my friend Cindy's rabbi. So he did a Zoom call with the congregation from his apartment.
Oh,
About
nice.
the film and the time he got to go to the Dakota and hang out with Yoko Ono. It was pretty
Wow. Very
cool. But the
cool.
movie is on Netflix and it's really quite interesting if you're a Beatles fan.
I am. In fact, when I took my mom and my children and my daughter's best friend to, we did a vacation for 4 weeks around the British Isle, and we went to Liverpool, and we went to each of their homes.
Wow. Thought I might have gotten there this summer, but I'm not gonna.
I'm sorry, I know that feeling.
Yeah, but I will. Hopefully, I will get there eventually. Okay, I'm gonna try us some more experiments. I have no green crackers, but I have the marshmallow and chocolate and 2 chocolate chip cookies. I
Oh,
think it
that
works.
sounds even better.
Right. Okay, I'm gonna try that.
Does anybody know the answer to what the Beatles first called themselves before they became the Beatles?
I used to know that. I know it. It's just not coming to the top of my head, but I did know that.
They went
Don't
by-
say it, don't say it, don't say it, don't say it. Audrey is a Beatles expert, so wait till she gets back. And she will probably
okay.
know. But don't say it.
Because I'm a Beatle fan and expert. I had every one of their albums.
All right, so she is one also. So Audrey, we have a question. Dan has a question for you, Audrey.
What was the first name of the band before the Beatles were called the Beatles? What was it? What was their name?
Oh.
And at that time, Ringo was not the drummer. They had a different drummer by the name of
Was
John.
it the Quarrymen?
Correct.
Very good.
What you were going to say too, John?
And Audrey, not only did we visit all 4 of their homes, we actually went out to the Casbah and got a tour by Stuart's brother.
Oh.
Yeah, it was really cool. My mother is breaking into, she's not making s'mores, but I don't want it smushed in your hand. She's breaking into the marshmallows without roasting them.
Yep, Ringo Starr was their second drummer. He was not
Yeah.
their first choice.
He didn't go with them to Berlin, right? He joined them after Berlin?
Yep.
See, I got some knowledge of it.
I was so much into the Beatles when I started high school that I had a Nehru jacket. I wore my hair like Lennon, John,
Wow.
and I had a pair of boots, Beatle boots, and flared pants.
Cool. Well, my favorite group from England is actually Who.
Okay.
I love the Beatles very much. Now, I can't see anyone because I have the fire screen on. Audrey back here with her creation.
I am. It's pretty good. I'll display it.
I would.
That was a good substitution.
Yeah, I was saying. When I go camping, I like to use very, and I actually got today some very dark chocolate instead of, I don't I'm not a big fan of milk chocolate, so I use dark chocolate, and I like to put strawberries in there as well.
So we were just talking about this today. Another thing, another adaptation that happens to be gluten-free is substitute a banana instead of the graham cracker. And you put the marshmallow and chocolate and then wrap it up in foil and throw it in the fire.
Yes, I've done that. It's delicious.
Really good.
Yes.
Those called banana float.
It's been long since I've done something like this, but I'm gonna Are you enjoying the fire too, Frederick? Okay, since I can't see you and I can't see my clock either, for those of you who are in Anshe Mitzvah, I just want you to be aware of time, since I'm not aware of time right now, so that you are on time for Rabbi Bergson.
7:54 right now.
Okay, so you got 6 minutes. And or if you need to, since you've been in class before this one, if you need to go do anything, now is the time for you to have his class. And as for the rest of you, you are welcome to stay for as long as you want. I, however, love you.
The magic dragon lived by the sea. And
Thank you very much. I'm going to leave you now. It's right in class.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us and
Yeah,
celebrating.
thanks everyone for coming and spending Lag BaOmer with us.
High school.
Gonna move on
The most
to the
formative
next
years of
class.
your son's life.
I learned
At
a lot.
Marquette University
Right.
High School,
Enjoy your
our Jesuit
information
education will
class.
shape
an
your son's
advertisement there,
identity.
Yeah, I'm trying to lower it. I can't. I unfortunately don't have the Prime, or we'll make the fire louder.
The result of our
Bye.
transformational education
Bye.
transformed
Night, everyone.
Bye-bye.
See you.
Learn more
I think I'm
at
gonna stop the share.
Cats and kittens. My name is Jackie Sprouse.
There we go. We can do that. Okay.
All right. Well, thanks.
How's your fire doing, Ben?
It's almost gone. It's almost out.
Oh,
But we got the whole package of marshmallows
excellent.
roasted. I've got to make some dinner now to counteract the marshmallows.
Yes. High protein.
Yep, gotta go take care of the kinder.
Yeah, exactly. All
But
they
that's the joy of homeschooling. Tomorrow can be a different type of a day because of it.
Yeah, exactly.
That's true.
I need
Nice
to
meet
get
you
them
all. Thank you
espresso.
so much.
Thank
I
you.
understand.
Thank
Thank
you, David,
you all.
for all the music.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us.
joining.
We hope you
I'm
enjoyed
glad
the
we could join you.
bonfire.
It was
Thanks
fun.
for the songs and thanks for the stories.
Oh, you're welcome.
Well, thanks. for
Bye-bye,
everything.
everyone.
Bye,
Bye.
everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you, Cantor. Ah, can't turn it off during this song though.